who actually beat Benfica 3-0 in their last match before Christmas to win 8-0 on aggregate in the Champions League. Millie Bright, the captain for Chelsea, in the heart of defence this afternoon. We are all set then. The players continuing to show their support in the ongoing battle against discrimination. We are underway. Reading, it will be in their familiar home kits of blue and white hoops, shooting away to our right-hand side, and Chelsea in their change kit, the pink, shooting away to our left. And Chelsea know that with a victory today, with the other games all being postponed, it is an opportunity. Manchester United and Arsenal will be feeling Chelsea breathing down their necks. An early touch for Berger in the Chelsea goal. Reading with only 3 victories in the WSL this season in their 10 matches so far. It will be a tough match for them against the defending champions Chelsea. And let's get the early thoughts of Jane Ludlow.
Well, we were speaking before the game, Paul, about who we thought would be in the back line now and how they would organise themselves from Reading's point of view. And if you look at it, it's actually Mitchell who's playing as a centre-back with Cooper today. So a little bit of a change there to what we originally thought. And Lina is playing as the right back. Lily Woodham is still playing as the left back, so we have that back four organisation. And obviously they usually set up with a midfield forward diamond and a front two, but we're yet to see how that's animated. But look, it's going to be a tough game for them today, but they have shown already this season, their game in particular against Man United, where they can compete with the top teams in this league, can't they? So it'll be interesting to see how they do today against this top Chelsea team.
Anderson at left back for Chelsea, plays it down the line. And right in it was, closing down Lena. As you say, Lena lining up at right back for Reading. Fishlock in midfield for Reading. They've worked it to Lina, whose ball goes out of play. Kelly Chambers celebrates her 35th birthday tomorrow. How she'd like to celebrate that with a victory here today.
Yeah, and look, totally agree with what Kelly has said over the past few weeks with regards to her team. I think they've done well through the season so far, just haven't picked up the points that they would have hoped for. Looking at their performances, they've competed really well, but hopefully they can change that at the start of the year now.
Well, it's been won back at left back by Lily Woodham. Mitchell hits it long. Reading have possession with Anghara James in midfield. Reading just getting their foot on the ball early on. Lena infield, that's neat football, looking for Harding in behind. The flag was up on this near side for offside.
Yeah, some good movement there. And we ended up seeing Farrah Williams in a good pocket of space. She actually had a bit more time than she might have realised, but tried to play that one-touch pass into Tash Harding, who unfortunately has got called offside there.
Released Kirby. Natasha Harding, the captain for Reading this afternoon.
Yeah, and good to see her on the pitch because she did have an injury before Christmas, hamstring injury, so great to see her back and flying fit. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased with regards to that, but it's lovely to see her playing, and obviously from a team's perspective, they'll enjoy the fact their captain is able to start the game again.
Yep, and as we discussed, versatile as well, can play in most positions on the pitch. And that's hit long over the top, but Reading will tidy that up with Mitchell. And James loses out and Kirby picks it up. And Kirby to Kerr, and Kerr with an early opportunity. Defended and cleared behind for a corner in the end by Reading.
Great pinch from Leopold here in midfield, you know, ball being played into Harrod. James hasn't seen the tackle coming in. Kirby now driving straight at the back line, and Sam Kerr, should she have shot? Well, you look back, obviously, when you see what's happened at the end, yes, she should have, but look, good defending. I believe it's Jess Fishlock getting back in there from midfield to recover and make sure there's no goal for Chelsea there.
Wrighton will take. And Reading get it clear, and as you mentioned, the form that Sam Kerr is in, you thought perhaps she was going to pull the trigger then. Yeah,
look, players recovering back, blocking angles, you know, you could say it might be the right option, but the pass detail not quite right to get her teammate on the end of it there.
But just a warning sign that Reading have no time on the ball. Chelsea are going to be on them.
One of the things Chelsea do well, and they've done well for many, many years under Emma Hayes, is when they transition, they have an ability to transition with speed when the space is there to do so. And we've seen it, and we're going to potentially see it again now.
And they have worked it. Kirby again involved. Kerr's waiting. This time, Mitchell will be able to tidy up for Reading, but again, Chelsea were in behind.
Look, Reading want to play out from the back. They want to build. They want to get the you know, on the ball. They want to control possession. It's how they try and like to play. And you know, there's been 2 instances now where Chelsea have pinched in this opposition half and creating some opportunities already. So interesting to see if that trend continues through the game.
Anderson. Just a heavy touch from Guro Wrighton. One of 3 changes for Chelsea this afternoon. Sophie Ingle and Niamh Charles, the other players coming into the starting lineup for Emma Hayes' side. Bit of space again for Wrighton.
Well, Emma Hayes spoke at the outset about what she was expecting from the Reading team today, and that's what she's getting against her. You know, they have lots of numbers in central areas that can cause you problems if you're not organised defensively and you're not pressing effectively.
Picked up by Wrighton. Skips away from the challenge of James. Kirby to Kerr. Good opportunity, good save. The flag was up though. Maloney was equal to it, but the flag was up on the far side.
Good opportunity again here for Chelsea. We see a really narrow backline here from Reading, and obviously Kirby exposing that on the left side, and good pass into Sam Kerr, but obviously timing not quite right from the run there.
Couple of sights on goal for Chelsea in the opening 10 minutes of this match. Emma Hayes no doubt pleased with the start that her side has made. Unbeaten for nearly 2 years in the WSL.
That's a decent statistic, to be fair, isn't it?
It certainly is. What can Reading do about it? Harding will give chase. Harry's waiting on the penalty spot. Breakthrough season for Emma Harries.
Yeah,
only 18 years old.
Yeah, good performances from her, from what we've seen, you know, in this season so far, and I'm sure there's more to come.
Starting up front with Natasha Harding for the Royals this afternoon. Still waiting for her first senior goal. Anderson. Here is Harding. Farrell Williams back to Lena.
You just see Chelsea falling back into kind of 4-5-1 defensive organisation, being fairly patient, allowing Reading to have the ball, and obviously Reading switching here to try and get some space. But good pinch, and they're on the attack again. Or are they going to build? No, they're going to build. And look, talking about the build, they have a great person on the ball right here, right now. Obviously, Sophie Ingle, who's playing as a centre-back today. Not her usual centre-mid position for Chelsea, but obviously fans of our national team will know she can play either particularly well. And, you know, as Emma Hayes has already said, she's got a squad full of talent, but talent that can play in different positions as well.
Quite a bit of interest out there for you today, Jane.
Yeah, I believe there's 5 on the pitch right now.
Wrighton with space, waiting for support. Williams helps it on its way. Here is Anderson, and Harry's back there defending. Williams. Looking for Harding, who just loses out to Bright, and Harries is fouled, and that's going to be a free kick to Reading.
She might just be having a bit of a rest, to be fair, after defending in her own box nearly then. But great work ethic from the youngster to see her coming back. And we're just looking at the German midfielder here, Leah Poles, who's been a big signing for Chelsea this year in how she controls that midfield area. Just getting called up for the foul here. Obviously, foot's a little bit high, but she is a very combative midfielder.
She escaped without a booking, but Abigail Byrne did want a word with Melanie Leopolds. Signed from Bayern Munich in the summer. Won 2 titles in her time in Germany, as Fishlock works it out wide.
A little bit late from Wrighton there, obviously not too much in it, and Harrod James getting to the ball first and obviously tipping it over, but free kick here for Reading. Let's see if they can make the most of it.
Chelsea with some defending to do. Long-range effort, harmless in the end.
Yeah, disappointing delivery in the end. Lots of movement going on prior to the strike, so I wasn't sure if something fancy was going to happen then, but obviously the direct strike taken, but not quite with the detail that they would have liked.
Chelsea building from the back.
Well played by Erin Cuthbert there, because I think at one point, edge of D, 3 players around her, and she manages to retain the ball for her team, but not for very long afterwards. Reading back with play.
Liner's ball forward, intercepted. Anderson has it. Looking for the run of Kerr. It's a Good foot in by Mitchell. He brings the ball forward for the Royals. Williams.
Yeah, and like Kelly Chambers said earlier, it's great that they have a player of the level of Emma Mitchell to come back in, you know, been out injured for a while, and they'll be enjoying the fact that they can select her again. Lots, bags and bags of experience internationally, and really good, strong defender to have in the team today.
Reading's turn to try and build from the back. Maloney to James. Bit of risky business, but Reading still have possession. And James, just as we watch this match unfold, Hannah Blundell has started for Chelsea at right back. A late change for Maren Melder, who was in the starting lineup, who was named in the starting 11, but it's Blundell who's dropped in at right back.
Yeah, and good to see her back playing, because I believe she's been out for a fair good chunk of the season already, so nice to see her back playing. And but you're right, there was a late change.
Kirby in behind at the flag, stays down, a chance for the opening goal, no mistake. Chelsea have taken the lead, 15 minutes on the clock. Reading appeal for offside. It wasn't given, and Fran Kirby celebrates her 4th goal of the season, and Chelsea are up and running.
Yeah, I think there was a moment where Fran Kirby herself, thought she might have been offside, but carried on like you should, and obviously got a great goal at the end of it, taking around the goalkeeper, Grace Maloney. But defensively, obviously, Reading will be disappointed here. It's a bit of a hopeful one, straight down the middle with a flick on from Sam Kerr, and obviously Fran Kirby in the right place to get on the end of it, and then driving in, making really good decisions here. Obviously, she's unopposed from a defensive point of view, but she still has to beat the keeper. Good goal, Fran Kirby. Nice to see her back on the score sheet.
She had so much space, didn't she, to play with there, Fran Kirby. And after all that intricate football, it was a long ball from right to left that undid Reading.
Yeah, look, the other thing I would add, actually, obviously, Fran Kirby's an ex-Reading player, grew up within Reading, and managed to work with her myself at the short spell I was at the club. So obviously she left the club a fair while ago now, and has been at Chelsea doing very, very well over the last few years. But yeah, nice to see her on the score sheet. Yeah. But look, as you say, and we've seen some interesting build-up play from both teams so far, haven't we? But it hasn't really led to anything. And then there's a moment where it's a bit of an up and under, and we've got a goal from it.
Fran Kirby making her debut for Reading at the age of 16, 11 years ago, scoring against her former club.
Just speaking about Fran Kirby a little bit, when I first went to the club, when I first went to Reading, went to see obviously the players and understand what the club was about, the kid just made me smile. She, you know, you watch her on a football pitch, just the energy she had, the enjoyment she has for the game, and it's really great to see a youngster with that talent keep progressing through the ranks, and hopefully now over the next few years she can do similar for our national team. Another youngsters who's coming through the club, obviously, she's a Welsh national team player. Sorry, folks, for those out there who think I'm just going to talk about Welsh people today. I'll try not to. But Lily Woodham has broke through into the senior team here at Reading very recently, and is getting a regular start now, so she's doing very well.
Got her first call-up as well, didn't she?
She did. Look, at the end of the day, if she's doing well for a club, a WSL1 club, she's going to be involved with us and as much as we can get her, hopefully, now over the coming years, because she's a young talent that we can hopefully help develop alongside the club. Well,
Emma Hayes said before the match that Reading were a threat from set pieces, and they have a corner here, the home side, that Farrah Williams goes over to take. Christine Lehner up from the back. One from the training ground towards Fishlock, but that was well picked out by Kirby. And Williams with the second ball in, gets it slightly wrong and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, interesting one. It just seemed to hold up a little bit too long, didn't it? Jess Fishlock wanted it to come down a little bit earlier before those defenders could get around it, but it nearly ended up being a second phase opportunity. We just see here that Chelsea managed to pinch it back, and tough opportunity on the first touch there for Farrah Williams to take, but we've seen her score goals in those situations, so why not attempt it?
Berger towards Anderson. Anderson puts it out for a throw. Fishlock thought about taking it. Leaves it for Lena. Emma Hayes deep in tactical discussions with Paul Green, the assistant manager. Mitchell with a slightly heavy touch. But Reading have won it back with Williams.
It's just that final third area right now, isn't it, for Reading? They managed to get the ball up into that edge of the final third, but not managing to retain beyond that. And some good interceptions, obviously a good reading play from Chelsea, but something Reading will like to progress as the game goes on.
Well, Kelly Chambers said before the match that something has been missing in front of goal so far this season. Just not quite getting it right in the final third. As Kirby picks it up for the visitors. Cuthbert with the through ball.
Not quite on the same wavelength there as the sole centre forward, Sam Kerr. But nice to see Erin Cuthbert back playing regularly again. Obviously, young Scottish national team player, lots of energy, can bag your goal, can defend really well. So good to see her back in starting opportunities again.
Lena. Williams to James. Picked up by Leopold, and now Kerr is in behind. Has Kirby in support. That's well defended by Lena. And Williams all the way back to Maloney.
Some good recovery defending there, in particular, as you mentioned, Lena. She's a very strong defender, isn't she? And obviously capable of playing as a centre-back or in that wider area in the back line.
That's a nice touch by Harding to Eikeland, but the danger was snuffed out by Hannah Blundell. Berger under pressure finds Cuthbert.
Yeah, some good pressure from Tash Harding then on the goalkeeper, but not managing as a team, Reading, to press collectively and manage to pinch that ball back, and they're back defending around their halfway now.
Leopolds. Bit of space here for Anderson. That's neat football. Kirby opens up. Kirby goes for goal. What an effort that was. So close to a second goal for Chelsea, so close to a second goal for Kirby.
Yeah, and there's been numerous occasions today we've seen Fran Kirby picking the ball up in space. And one of the things I always really valued about working with Fran was her ability to see pockets of space. And I think, you know, that number 10 role where you've got to time your runs particularly well, be technically good enough in tight areas when you do get the ball.
Mitchell gives it away to Kirby, again bearing down on goal for a second. This time, no mistake, and Chelsea have doubled their advantage after 22 minutes. And this is turning into the Fran Kirby show. Only moments ago smacking the woodwork, this time making no mistake and finishing confidently past Maloney. Reading 0, Chelsea 2.
Paul, you took the words out of my mouth then, because it is going to be, you know, the Fran Kirby show right now. We've just spoken about how good she is, her awareness. But look at the drive and the strength to hold off Emma Mitchell, and then really good finish. Left foot, she sees Grace Maloney coming out, sees the space on that side of the goal, and what a great finish. As she's falling over as well, manages to keep her balance and get it in the bottom corner of the net. Great goal.
Mitchell won't be happy, will she? But Kirby still had so much to do, even after winning possession back, or being gifted possession as she was.
Yeah, look, she looks back on top form right now, doesn't she? I mean, we've spoken about Sam Kerr at the start of the programme, and we know what a top-level centre-forward she is. But I think people over the last year maybe have forgotten a little bit about Fran Kirby, because she has had her injury issues, and they've been noted. by herself, you know, in the press, etc. And she really struggled for a good few months over the last year or so. And it's really nice to see the kid back playing at the top level and playing well. And look, right now her whole team won't be very happy in how they're allowing her to play well.
This time Lena gives it away, and Kirby is in behind again. And Kirby on a hat-trick. The shot comes in from Wrighton, and Maloney comfortably saves that one. But you get a feeling that perhaps that Chelsea forward line are going to enjoy themselves this afternoon, Kirby in particular.
Yeah, look, it's one of the strengths of Chelsea, isn't it? The ability they have in that front line, kind of a front five, although when they get going, they'll occupy different spaces. They have really good awareness of where each other are. And obviously they're very good technical players as well.
Just a heavy touch, and it's won back again, this time by Leopold. Chelsea come again. Kerr in behind, but the pass is slightly overhit.
But she's always threatening on the shoulders of the centre-backs, isn't she? She's stretching that back line, the opposition back line, all the time. So even if she's not receiving the ball in behind, then her partner, which happens to be Fran Kirby today, is generally finding those pockets of space that she's exposing. So good partnership up top so far for Chelsea. What are we, 26 minutes into the game? Some good opportunities that they haven't managed to bag, but obviously got two already, which makes it a tough game for Reading. You know, it was a game they've obviously looked forward to. They're in good form, but they're struggling right now.
Well, Sam Kerr scored the winner against Brighton last time out and got a hat-trick against West Ham in December. And this afternoon it is Fran Kirby who is already on a hat-trick. Kerr with 7 WSL goals in 8 appearances. Kirby now with 5. And that's overhit and comfortable for Berger. Chelsea signing actually Zasira Musovic in the January transfer window, putting a potential bit of pressure on Ann-Katrin Berger for the #1 jersey over the next few months. Signing a 2.5-year deal from Rosengard. Although Berger hasn't really had much to do in this match so far. Williams for Reading. Work back to Maloney.
Now, this 4-4-2 defensive organisation from Chelsea today is doing a job, isn't it? It's allowing Reading at times to have the ball deep, but generally pinching it back when they need to.
Well, it's a first-time effort. It's a speculative effort as well, and it's not too far away. It was Natasha Harding, the captain, who saw Berger perhaps off her line. Great improvisation.
Yeah, look, firstly, it was good awareness from Anhara James to play that ball in the first instance, and then obviously Tash Harding making quick decisions here. Is she going to take Sophie Ingle on one-on-one, or is she going to take the early shot? And obviously the early shot was the choice, but not quite on target for Tash Harding there.
Well, we saw Natasha Harding score up at Everton with a long-range effort that looped over the goalkeeper. It was almost another one. It wasn't too far away. That was Harding's only goal of the season so far.
The cross or shot?
That's the one. Reading have a free kick here and a chance to put the Chelsea back line under a bit of pressure. And they've gone backwards. Cooper against her former club. Hits it long. Harries gives chase.
Well, we're seeing Reading trying to expose that wide area early, aren't we? They're getting a little bit of time in the back line, fullbacks or centre-backs at times, to see that channel ball. They're playing it, but it's not quite coming off. They've got runners going in there, but the timing isn't quite right, and the pass isn't quite right now.
And Chelsea have won it back again with Anderson. That was a nice turn by Kerr, just cut out. And Cooper spreads it to Woodham. And again, that pressing play from Chelsea has won it back. And Charles finds Blundell. Leopold up against James. And wins the corner.
Good cover defending there from Manhara James, obviously filling in that left-back position. But, you know, Chelsea again, attacking opportunity here. It's been an interesting game so far, halfway into the match. You know, we've seen Reading have good spells of possession, but generally in their own half, middle third, but no further up than that. And obviously Chelsea pinching and attacking quickly and creating some good goal-scoring opportunities.
Cuthbert goes over to take the corner. Headed clear by Cooper. Cuthbert with another opportunity.
That first delivery was so enticing. Good defending from Reading to get it away, because that was a danger delivery there from Cuthbert.
Well, it was Cooper's header who cleared it for the home side. First went professional with Chelsea in 2017. Lining up at the heart of that Reading backline against her former club. Free kick goes Chelsea's way. James is down, but back to her feet.
Yeah, we weren't sure which way this one was going to go, because it seemed like both players were a little bit awkward in their challenge. That's probably the word I'd use. A little bit off balance, but obviously it's gone Chelsea's way.
Cuthbert and Wrighton are over it. It's Cuthbert who will take. Kerr. Good foot in by Anderson. Kerr will close down Mitchell, who works it back to Maloney. Kirby, whose 2 goals separate the two sides. Leopold's. Anderson. Looking for Kerr on the penalty spot. Eikeland will tidy up for the home side. That's good pressing again by Fran Kirby there.
Yeah, she's having a good game so far, isn't she? Obviously, attacking-wise, 2 goals to her name so far, but defensively she's working hard and putting the tackles in that she needs to. Just seeing a strike here where she's obviously hit the bar as well. Again, created a pocket of space for herself. Early turn, good awareness, and great strike with her right foot.
That opportunity off the post coming between the 2 goals that she has scored. It was timed at 30 seconds pretty much before her second goal. And that has put Chelsea in commanding position here at the Medeski Stadium. Berger's ball forward should go all the way through to Maloney, helped on its way by Lena. Mitchell. And Reading just deciding to put their foot on the ball and recycle possession. Mitchell again.
Yeah, the trend you'll see from Reading when they're building is they'll use Jess Fishlock at times, which they may use here centrally, and Harrod James to mix up how they build through the middle areas. Predominantly today, we've seen it's actually James rather than Fishlock that's getting on the ball to help build, and it's usually the other way around. But both have the ability to do that. But as we're seeing again that the trend for them in this game, as in others we've seen, is they're good in possession up until that attack in third, and you'd say that they could do better, they should do better then when they're getting balls in those areas to hold up play, to bring others into play.
Well, Kelly Chambers has mentioned that repeatedly this season as being an issue. 13 goals they've scored in the WSL in their 11 matches. Lena. James. That's a good foot in. And Kerr has been released, and Kerr bearing down on goal has Kirby in support, but good covering by Mitchell. And that was a chance for the hat-trick, but Mitchell was there.
Oh, it's the second time in the game she's decided to pass, and I'm thinking, oh, just shoot. But look, great break again. The trend is, you know, they're playing those early balls forwards, aren't they? And they're not offside, these Chelsea players. They read and play really well, and trying to tee a teammate up again there, but not quite coming off. Goal scoring centre forwards are supposed to be selfish, aren't they? She goes against the grain.
Wrighton had to go and collect the ball before taking the corner. Kirby lurking in front of Maloney.
Poor one there from Anderson. Something we're not used to seeing, to be fair to her.
Lena clears, but it's won back again by the pink shirts of Chelsea.
Interesting colour. I'm not sure if it's pink or salmon or coral.
Coral?
Everybody can have their own view, the viewers. I'm not sure what you'd go with. A bright colour.
I'm sticking with pink.
Oh, look at that bench. Look at those players you can bring on, full of talent, and it's great, isn't it? You know, the league now has so many top-level players who in the past have chosen to play outside of England, but now realise obviously the strength and depth of this league, and it's great to see that they're choosing this league to compete in.
Yeah, if you decide you don't fancy the Kerr and Kirby partnership, perhaps Beth England can be introduced, or harder. As Chelsea come forward again, that's a teasing, dangerous ball. A wonderful cross from Anderson.
It's a lovely delivery, wasn't it? It was one, if you're running on, you're looking forward to attacking that one, but timing not quite right. Hoop shirts managing to get in the way there. Lily Woodham doing enough for her team.
It was Niamh Charles, wasn't it, closing in at the far post. Cuthbert. Leopolds. Under a bit of pressure there from three Reading shirts.
Yeah, and look, the trend from Reading is they want to press the ball. When they don't have possession, they want to go after it. Nearest player has responsibility, go and put pressure. But what's not quite happening today in the opposition half is they're not really going together as a team. At times it can be sole runners, or we're not quite reading each other well enough because we're not managing to pinch. That's what they're probably thinking right now. But they are working extremely hard, just not managing to get back in possession of the ball when they're going into their press modes.
Blundell. Back to Berger. Eichland wins the throw. Off of Charles. And Fishlock in behind. trying to tee up James, but just overhit it.
Yeah, you can see what she was trying to do, but it's just spun off her foot, hasn't it? Good opportunity there, obviously, for Reading. But again, it's that trend, isn't it? They're getting the ball just outside the box, and what can we do with it? And they're losing it too easily right now.
They have worked themselves into some dangerous positions throughout the course of this first half, but at the other end, Chelsea are always a threat, and Kerr releases Kirby once again. James with a really good foot in to bring the ball clear for Reading.
Good recovery defending from her there. Obviously a bit disappointing she lost the ball in the first phase, but you know what you saw there was the danger that Chelsea have against this type of Reading team and the way they play today. As soon as they pinch in those middle areas of the pitch, they're off, aren't they? They're going forwards where that's central, where that's into a slightly wider area, but they're looking to break quickly when they do pinch Chelsea.
Leopolds goes down, wins the free kick. Ingle to take the resulting free kick. Just waiting for her teammates to settle. Bright. Blundell. Leopolds. Good foot in from Fishlock. Cuthbert. Bright to Ingle. Oh, that's a lovely, lovely ball. Kerr and Wrighton are waiting for the cross. Kirby's there as well. And Kerr gets in the way of the shot and was offside. But that move was created from Sophie Ingle's glorious crossfield ball.
Yep, left foot across the width of the park, and good take here from Niamh Charles, obviously going up against Lily Wood, and manages to get the ball just around her here. Lays it back for, I believe it's Kirby. Yeah, Kirby, but good recovery defending from Fishlock there to get back in around the 6 yard to make that really effective tackle to stop another goal scoring opportunity for Fran Kirby.
It was a nice touch by Niamh Charles as well. Started her career at Liverpool, signed after their relegation, 21 years of age. In the starting lineup for Chelsea this afternoon, with Harder on the bench. Looking for Harding in behind, but Chelsea tidy up. Well worked by Lena to Fishlock. Eikeland.
Good strength there from Anderson, because Eikeland had that first touch, could have gone past her, but Anderson steps across her and there's no going past.
Jonna Andersson winning 6 trophies with Linköpings in Sweden. Before arriving at Chelsea. Eikeland. James.
Yeah, Reading are playing the ball a lot down their right-hand kind of half space, the channel side, but they're not getting much out of Sophie Ingle today, are they? It seems to be Sophie Ingle first to the ball the majority of the time, and it's being cleared. But it seems to be a trend. They're trying to utilise that space just outside Sophie Ingle on this right-hand side of the pitch. Just in behind full-back when she steps out, but it's not quite happening.
Anderson puts it out for another throw. Reading the home side with a bit of possession in the final 90 seconds or so of this first half. Chelsea, the defending WSL champions, lead by 2 Fran Kirby goals to 0.
You can see what Jess Fishlock was trying to do there, but again, it's just spun off the top of her foot, doesn't it? But Reading back in possession. What can they create now?
Mitchell asks a lot of Harding, who does well to keep it in. Leopolds telegraphs that one and takes it from the toes of our fellow number 8 Fishlock.
But you know, I'd like to see Tash Harding go at the defender there. You know, in that wide area, drive in rather than look to play backwards. Drive in, you've got the ability, you know, you've got the pace. Back yourself, go in those areas. 1v1s.
Brighton has Anderson on the overlap. It's going to be a free kick. Williams sliding in. And the first yellow card of the match goes to Farrah Williams.
We just see Wrighton getting to the ball first, and obviously Farah's already committed to the challenge, hasn't she? Instead, well, they're not up, you know. She's pushed her leg out a little bit too late and managed to catch Wrighton. Looks a little bit sore for her, but this is potentially the last kick of this first half. So what are Chelsea going to pull out here?
Well, we do only have one additional minute at the end of this 45. Cuthbert is there. Reading just creeping forward, trying to catch Chelsea offside. Kerr keeps it in, and Kirby's there, and that is the hat-trick. The flag stays down, and Chelsea have scored a third, and Kirby has a first-half hat-trick.
Do you know, before that kick was taken, I was thinking that's a very, very high line, which some teams do because it gives the goalkeeper more depth, more area to come and claim. And it'll be interesting to see this back, whether, you know, the depth of the delivery was that should have happened, or it was just actually good timing and movement. Great delivery, because it hangs up, doesn't it? It gives Kerr time to get on the end of it here and create one-touch backwards pass into the central of the 6-yard. But look, Fran Kirby, she arrives at the right time, good contact on the header, but who's dealing with her? There's nobody dealing with her. You know, middle of the 6-yard, last kick of the game, great for Fran Kirby, going in with 3 goals under her belt.
No wonder Kirby and Kerr are smiling, because they have combined again. Fran Kirby with a first-half hat-trick has put Chelsea firmly in control of this only WSL fixture this weekend. They lead at the Medeski Stadium against Reading by 3 goals to 0.
Bolton drifts in field, turns, has a look up, hits the shot, fierce drive, it's a wonderful goal, and Leah Goldson strikes for Manchester United. Some hit from a player who seems to be going from strength to strength. Leah Goldson makes it 1-0. Zellum, good ball into the area, and it's met at the far post and glanced in. United grab a second, turn gets there. It's been coming for Manchester United. And Millie Turner, what a season she's having. Tobin Heath, another good delivery for United towards Turner. Sigsworth looking for the shove, up off the ground and into the back of the net. Well, she's onto her feet quickly, having lost her footing, smashing in for goal number 3 for Manchester United. Up she gets, and in it goes. Galton! Oh, yes! It's another super strike, a spectacular effort from Leah Galton. Fuso unable to slip the ball through. Ebony Salmon away. Ebony Salmon through on goal. Big chance here for the former United player. Good save by Erbs. Another opportunity for Salmon. Slams in. She does have a goal, just as she did in this fixture last season. United won't keep the clean sheet here. United again with another opportunity, and there's goal 5. It's a brilliant strike from Tobin Heath. First time here, just spots Bagley off of her line ever so slightly, and one of the world's best with a spectacular strike. Now Hayley Ladd can come forward. We're into the area again here. Tobin Heath looking for her second, and she's found it, and it's goal number 6 now for Manchester United. A classy win for Manchester United, 6-1 winners against Bristol City.
Fishlock, who's got Harding in support, she didn't need it. What a precise finish that was from Jess Fishlock. Her first goal for Reading, the player on loan from Reign in the States. Great goal.
Yeah, architects of their own downfall here. Brighton.
Brighton on the attack here. And it came to O'Sullivan, and the referee's given the penalty. Well, she just gave herself a second to think there, Abigail Byrne, but it did look a heavy challenge. Brighton, having not threatened really Grace Maloney's goal as yet, now have the chance to equalise from the spot. And what an emphatic penalty that was from Inessa Kaufman. Her 3rd league goal of the season, dispatched so confidently the spot kick.
Brilliant penalty kick by Kaufman there.
But the slip could allow Reading in here. Harries waits in the middle. And it came out to Fishlock. She made no mistake. Her second of the game. And she wasn't going to miss from there. And Reading had their lead back.
So midfielders that come from deep positions and arrive in the box. I mean, Brighton had just played into Reading's hands. They're pressing high. But you just see the quality of Fishlock here. She could have really snatched at that shot, but she waited that split second.
A third would finish this off as a contest now, and they might get it as well as Rowe nips in. And off the post, and was it over the line? It's been given. Rachel Rowe with the goal that seals the deal here for Reading. They will take all the points.
That's a great little finish. Assistant referee thought that she'd seen it go over the line. And they'll win the ball in the midfield. Fishlock, and then there's an overload, isn't it? 4v3. She chose the right pass, it's not offside. Tori Williams is playing her on, and it's a deft little finish that, isn't it? It hit the post, and they're saying, did that go in? You can't really tell from this angle, but the liner, see where the liner is, assistant referee right on the line, so if anybody's going to be able to see it, she can.
Let's get to know Ella Toon.
I'm Ella Toon. What do you want to know?
What's your nickname?
Toonie.
How old are you?
21.
What position do you play?
Centre midfield.
What's your hometown?
Tilsley.
How old were you when you started playing?
5.
Left or right-footed?
Both footed. Right foot.
Who was your hero growing up?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
What's your go-to meal?
Go-to meal? Steak, medium rare, eggs, chips, peas, Diane sauce and a Coke.
Sounds interesting. What about your cheat meal then?
I like a Chinese.
Favourite holiday destination?
Somewhere warm. Ibiza.
Where were you when you got your first call-up?
I was walking the dog.
Who was the last person you called?
Abby McManus.
What's your most used emoji?
The laughing face.
Best thing about being with England?
Just being in and around the girls and the training sessions because they're so competitive.
What's your coffee order?
I hate coffee, so I'll have a hot chocolate.
Which club did you start at?
Astley and Tilsley, and then went to United.
What do you do on an off day?
Just chill with my friends.
Best player you've ever played with?
I'd probably say Lucy Bronze when I was at City.
Favourite TV show?
Towie.
Best piece of advice you've been given?
Just be confident and enjoy every minute of it.
Nice one. Now we know.
And Emma Hayes' teams just like to attack as well.
So the two sides have made their way back onto the field of play here at the Medeski Stadium. Fran Kirby, her 3 goals separating the two sides. A perfect hat-trick for her in the first 45 minutes. Opening the scoring in the 16th minute, doubling that in the 23rd, and then right on the stroke of half-time, scoring a header to make it 3-0. Grace Maloney, the Reading goalkeeper, did receive a yellow card for protesting this third and final goal in that first half. Maloney thought that that had gone out when Sam Kerr hooked it back for Kirby. You can see Maloney running off to protest at the assistant. And then as the players made their way off the field of play at half-time, Grace Maloney joined Farrah Williams in the referee's notebook. So it is Chelsea who will be shooting from left to right in their salmon pink tops.
Coral.
Reading in their blue and white hoops, shooting away to our left-hand side. And we are underway, and a real challenge now, I suppose, for Reading and Kelly Chambers to try and keep the scoreline respectable.
Yes, because look, 3-0 half-time is not obviously a result they would have thought would happen because of the level of performances they've put in just before Christmas. So they will be disappointed, and she will want a response from her team.
Well, Reading do only have 1 win in their last 7 WSL matches, but they've also got 4 draws in that time, so they are difficult to beat. But just as we mentioned in the first half, and something that Kelly Chambers has mentioned herself, just perhaps lacking in the final third. No changes for either side, I don't believe, at half-time. Chelsea with the free kick, and Millie Bright is over it. Charles wins the throw off of Lily Woodham. Hannah Blundell in at right back for Chelsea, a late call-up. Mjelde was named in the starting lineup, but Blundell gets the nod. Mjelde picking up a knock in the warm-up, we can only presume, as the flag goes up for offside against Chelsea. And Reading have the opportunity to build from the back with Mitchell. Hits it long. Eikeland. Skips away from Charles, but can't do likewise against Millie Bright. And Leopold's tidies up. Woodham. Closed down well by Kirby. Cooper. Good footwork. Lena. James. Woodham. It's good play by Reading. Just the final ball lacking.
Yeah, that was good build-up play, wasn't it? But again, it's that final ball in and around the box that Reading aren't managing to connect with right now, are they? But good possession from them, working the ball from right to left. And, you know, we spoke at the outset that they generally try and play through those midfield areas, the central areas, because they have those overloads in there. But at times today, they're utilising the width with their fullback. Good combination play there from Leopold. Oh, and she doesn't manage to. Oh, that would have been an opportunity, wouldn't it? Because I think it was in the left-hand side. Wrighton would have been in tons of space if she managed to connect with that pass out to the left-hand side there. But Reading back in possession of the ball, and Howard James quite a bit of time here to pick out a pass.
And now there's a bit of space here for Kirby. Kirby bearing down on goal, but that's a really perfectly timed challenge. And behind for a corner.
That's the second or third time we've seen Jess Fishlock having to do those recovery runs into the box to fill in for centre-back positions at times, and manages to do really well here to time that slide-in challenge very well against Fran Kirby. You could question this touch from Fran Kirby. That last touch she had was a little bit heavy, but good defending from Jess Fishlock there.
Corner to Chelsea. Cuthbert to take. Towards the near post. Reading get it clear. Chelsea come again. Flag stays down. Cuthbert. Kirby finds the space. Kerr with the header. Just wide.
What a great timed run from Fran Kirby. Obviously, Erin Cuthbert has to see the run. I think there were 3 defenders around Erin Cuthbert there when she ends up, 3 defenders, and she ends up playing the right pass at the right time, and good timing and movement from Fran Kirby, and great lofted delivery to the far post. Unfortunately for Chelsea, you know, not on target there, but good build-up, good opportunity.
It was Wrighton in the end with the chance. As Reading come again, and the home side have made a change at the break. I can tell you Lauren Bruton has come on to replace Emma Harries.
Lauren Bruton, she can play in central midfield areas, she can play further up in the front line. So interesting to see if she can get a grip of this game and affect the game for our team today.
Charles for Chelsea. Blundell finds Kerr. Tidied up by Woodham for Reading.
Lauren Bruton, ex-Arsenal Academy player, know her from many years ago, and obviously she played within the team in Reading with me for a year or so too, so know her very well. Good technician, works really hard for the team. Like I say, can play as a frontline player or in that midfield area. So hopefully for our team today, she can affect this game.
That's given away and picked up by Bruton. whose ball is cut out by Ingle. And Anderson comes forward now for the visitors. That's a lovely ball. Kerr in behind. Wrighton's making a run to her right-hand side. And it's gone behind for another corner.
And it's quite often, you said today, Kerr in behind, managing to drive. You know, she's getting in behind this back line of Reading, and the balls are good getting up to her. And then she's having time to pick out passes and either winning corners, as we see in here, or teeing people up for opportunities on goal.
Well, these were claims of handball against Lily Woodham from a previous corner. They weren't strong appeals, as the corner is floated in towards Kirby again. Can you believe it? That's another goal. And it is Fran Kirby with her fourth. And Chelsea are enjoying themselves now. It's Reading 0, Chelsea 4.
Well, she's on fire, isn't she? What do you say? An ex-player of a club comes back and scores 4 goals against you. Yeah, it's look, I'm sure she would say she enjoyed her time at the club many, many years ago developing there. But look, Chelsea are keeping pushing her right now, aren't they? And she's on fine form, isn't she? Look at that pinpoint header. It's a great delivery, lots of pace on it, so she just needs to redirect it, which she does particularly well. Goalkeeper here obviously pulling off to the front post area, not able to adjust her feet to affect that in any shape or form.
Well, everything she's touching at the moment is nestling into the back of the net. Chelsea 4 goals to the good now, and it really is probably now a case of damage limitation for Reading.
Well, they need to get to grips with Fran Kirby right now, don't they? You know, a player, what are we, 54 minutes into a game, 4 goals under her belt. And look, I more than anyone rate Fran Kirby as a top level player. I love her to bits. But I think, you know, there's times today where she's had way too much time to pick her decisions. And you can't give a player at that level that amount of time. And, you know, that last goal she scored, she is marked, but it's not an effective marking, is it? You know, managing to get first contact on the ball, header in the area, and she's one of the smallest players on the pitch.
Well, Reading have a throw deep in Chelsea territory. Lily Woodham to take. Cleared by Chelsea, put back in with interest from James, but harmlessly sailing over the bar.
But what you would say, this is a dominant display, isn't it, from a team who would like to be the champions come the end of this season. And you're looking at this performance, this display right now, and you're going, well, it's going to have to be a good team that stops them picking up that trophy.
Well, we talk about their forward line all the time, but they've actually kept 3 clean sheets in a row as well. This would be a 4th, so it's not just at one end of the pitch that they're dominant, it's going well at the other end as well.
Yeah, you're right. And when we spoke about the bench warming up earlier and the players that we're seeing here, obviously Beth England and some more attacking players, they have some top quality that can come in and slide into a back line too, don't they? Obviously, Eriksson is getting a rest today. Looks like she may be coming on from the picture we just saw, though.
Mielder as well, of course. Normally starting at right back, not in the starting 11 this afternoon. Millie Bright in a little bit of discomfort, so just a little push from Harding, but she's okay. As you mentioned, Jane, Eriksson, one of the options on the bench.
Yeah, the squad that Emma Hayes has collected together over the last few years is just phenomenal, isn't it? The talent she has in all positions.
Here we go again. Kerr has Charles at the far post. Kirby offers herself short. Kirby looking for Charles. And tidied up by Reading. But again, it was Kerr in behind.
Yeah, look, they're exposing this fairly high line from Reading, and the line has to be high because they want to press everywhere on the pitch. So when, you know, ball's in opposition half, they're trying to press. So to make sure your units are compact, your back line has to come with you. But then it's reading those triggers, like we're seeing now, of how quickly you can react to those balls over the top. And, you know, you can look at the game and you go, oh, Chelsea are a little bit direct at times, but why not? It's working. Whether they're playing into the channels or whether they're playing centrally, they're managing to catch this back line on the op, and they're not reading triggers particularly well, and you know, they're struggling to deal with the pace of, in particular, Sam Kerr.
And the news doesn't look to be much better for Reading, with Beth England readying to come onto the field of play. Looking to get in on the act. And Millie Bright tidies up under pressure from Bruton.
Good pressure there from Lauren Bruton, managing to get a corner for her team. Millie Bright a little bit disappointed to see the corner given, because it does look like it's come from Lauren Bruton, doesn't it?
Well, Reading won't be complaining. They've got the corner. Fishlock making her way forward.
Oh, that's disappointing. You know, it's a trend that Reading have had in previous games where they do the in-swinger, they bundle a lot of players in and around the goalkeeper, make it really hard, and if the delivery is pinpoint, it's a tough one to deal with, but poor delivery there, obviously shorter than the near post.
Some last-minute tactical discussions being had.
It's not a sight if you're on the opposition bench you want to see right now, is it?
Half an hour still to play. Reading perhaps looking to make a change as well, with Rachel Rowe warming up.
This is a player I know very well. Again, obviously another Welsh national team player who, you know, with Rachel Rowe, her strength is her energy. She can play in multiple positions on the pitch, and it'll be interesting to see where she sits in. Does she just take Farah Williams' position now and play in midfield, or do they manipulate the team slightly? But look, she has a bundle of energy. She's so combative, and she can create opportunities for her team. But she is going to, you know, well, one thing Rachel Rowe does very well is she works extremely hard for the team.
Blundell for Chelsea. Kirby. Kerr giving chase. Maloney's there. Good goalkeeping, confident goalkeeping in the end.
I'd say both of them are having the chat there about the last game, which I believe she did actually get sent off for a moment like that, where I see Sam Kerr thinking about whether she goes in for that or not.
Cuthbert's down on the halfway line for Chelsea, just as both sides are preparing to make some substitutions. Let's take a look at this again.
Well, I did mention about combative Rachel Rowe, and she's in there straight away. It is the one thing that she will do every single time she steps on a pitch, whether that's a training pitch or a match. She will want to compete. Obviously getting a bit caught there, and hopefully Erin Cuthbert will be okay.
So Sam Kerr makes way. Beth England comes onto the field, so that's a straight swap up front. G coming on for Cuthbert, as Chelsea prepare a triple substitution. And Jessie Fleming coming on for Guro Reiten. So a triple change then for Emma Hayes. Fishlock wins the free kick for Reading.
drive here from Jess Fishlock, and you could just see Niamh Charles with the arm and extending and pushing her off.
James pulls it across. Bright gets it clear. Niamh Charles with good pace, but that's well won back by Woodham. Bruton. Lena. Intercepted by G. First touch for G and Fleming combining, the two substitutes, or two of the substitutes, I should say. G. Fleming. Kirby tries the back heel, doesn't get away with it. Does the ball go out? It stays in. And Chelsea can build with Leopolds. Bright. Blundell. England.
I thought somebody was injured then. The fact that it looked like she was playing the ball out because somebody was injured, but maybe just an error.
Here's Rowe, surrounded by 4 Chelsea shirts. G. To Bright. Space over on that far side for Fleming. And Cooper will shepherd that back to Maloney. Bruton up against Bright. Woodham on the overlap. And that's behind by Blundell.
Good build-up on this left-hand side there. Obviously good delivery into the channel. Lauren Bruton timing her movement well, and then the support play from Lily Woodham. Just that final delivery. You know, Lily Woodham is a young player with a wand of a left foot, so a little bit surprising her delivery there wasn't a little bit better. But they've got a corner from it, so what can they create?
G and James tangling. Leopolds tries to bring it forward, and Rowe has it now for Reading. Went for the early ball, intercepted by Bright. G. Cut out by Lena. Here's James. Eikeland has Rowe in support. Bruton is there as well. And Harding loses out. G. Leopolds.
Yeah, and what we see from Chelsea when they are winning the ball back in deeper areas, you know, in their own half, they are trying to get the width early and expose this narrow.
Bruton feeds it through for Harding, and the flag is up. The whistle's gone. It wouldn't have counted.
It's a good opportunity, wasn't it? Yeah, as I was saying, obviously they're trying to get the ball into wide areas to expose the width because of how this Reading team take to the pitch. They're very narrow. You see here the numbers they have in central areas, and good opportunity there, just not quite timed well from Tash Harding.
I don't think she was. It was too far away from being onside, but just not close enough. As Reading come forward again, a decent spell over the last couple of minutes for the home side. And Woodham is in behind. Woodham into the area. Charles is there defending, and that's going to be a goal kick.
Do you know, young Lily Woodham's doing very well to get up and support really quickly. And, you know, one thing she has is she has a really good engine, and we're seeing that today. It's just not quite coming off when they're getting into top end of the pitch. You know, good play there from Jess Fishlock to play it in, but good defending from Niamh Charles. You know, two youngsters there who've got bright futures in the game.
Yeah, Lily Woodham just 20, Niamh Charles 21. And here is Blundell. Charles. Kirby skips away from Woodham, tries to release England, but Cooper with a good strong tackle, and that's going to be another corner. Beth England causing problems, or hoping to cause problems, from the resulting corner. 3 goals so far in her 8 WSL appearances this season. Of course, the top scorer for the club over the last 2 seasons. 21 goals during the last campaign.
Top level player. Obviously she joined the season a little bit later than her teammates, but has done well since she's getting good game time now.
Anderson just trying to place the ball. Eventually does. Here is England. G making the run.
We have seen Millie Bright score a few goals from in and around the box, edge of box. Obviously Millie Bright in her younger days was a centre mid, scored a few goals, but still manages to get on the end of things in set play situations, but not quite in this game yet.
Does have 1 goal to her name this season in the WSL from defence, but not this time. Here's G to Leopolds. That's easily cut out, and Rowe has it now for Reading. Bruton skips away from Bright. Harding. Eikeland. No one there.
No, final ball again, isn't it, for them? You can see when they combine well in those central areas when they use the numbers they have, and there was a good example of it when there's one touch, you know, we're playing around corners, etc., but nobody in the box to attack that delivery.
So Chelsea heading for all 3 points in this one, it would seem, as they prepare to make another change. And again, it doesn't get much better for Reading, does it, with Pernilla Harder about to come on, along with Magda Eriksson. She picks it up. Here is Kirby. Oh, that's good football. And here is Charles up against Woodham. Charles still going. Leopold's thought about the shot. Kirby in space. G. Oh, that's a poor first touch from G. Otherwise, that was a shooting opportunity.
Well, I thought Fran Kirby was going for a 5th there, to be fair.
Reading have worked it well on the counter-attack. Bruton to Fishlock. Fishlock has Harding in front of her. Fishlock might go alone. Blocked by Bright.
Good break for Reading. You know, lots of numbers forwards that they could use there. Strike on goal from Jess Fishlock in the end. Good break, good numbers, good support play, look. And, you know, we highlighted Jess Fishlock at the start of the game because she does pull the strings for her team, and good to see her getting forwards in those instances, but not managing to get the strike on goal in the end on target.
So another double change then for Emma Hayes. Anderson is making way, Jonna Anderson, to be replaced by Magda Eriksson. So that'll be a change in defence. And Harder coming on to try and get in on the act in the final 20 minutes or so. Replacing Niamh Charles.
Well, there are a lot of teams around the world who would love to have starting players who have come off the bench for Chelsea today. You know, strength and depth they have is phenomenal. Well, that's not a sight I'd like to see, if I'm honest. So I'm hoping Lily Woodham does jump up, and there's nothing wrong with her.
Well, we've mentioned her a lot in an attacking sense this match for Reading. Lily Woodham in at left back. Even though Chelsea have scored 4 goals, Lily Woodham does like to get forward. But it does look like they might have to make a change here with Molly Bartrip potentially preparing to come on. Molly Bartrip, the one change for Reading this afternoon, dropping to the bench, being replaced by Emma Mitchell. Well, she's got 4 so far, Fran Kirby. Let's take a look at them.
Yeah, some great finishes, aren't there? Obviously using a bit of strength here to hold the defender off, and then unbalanced by managing to get a great strike off. Here we see the header, and yeah, we see another header, which, as we've said, she's one of the smallest on the pitch, but she's very good aerially too.
So Lily Woodham has come off, and Molly Bartrip has come on in defence for Reading.
Well, Molly Bartrip generally a centre-back, but can play as a full-back if needed, so it'll be interesting to see where she does situate herself now.
G helps it on its way. Bruton. Twisting and turning, but there were 4 Chelsea shirts around her. Mitchell. Bartrip. To Cooper. Lena. First time ball is cut out by Eriksson. Blundell will help it on its way to Harder. G. Well, Chelsea's next match was meant to be in the quarter-finals of the Continental Cup against Manchester City in midweek. That's been postponed because of the COVID outbreak. So another bit of rest for Chelsea coming up after this match. There is a backlog of fixtures brewing for Emma Hayes' side. Of course, still in the Champions League as well. That resumes in March, the last 16. The draw for that takes place in February.
And that's obviously a main competition for Chelsea as a club, and Emma Hayes has stated many times that it's a trophy she wants to win. And I would say win again, because she won it as a coach for Arsenal in 2007 with us, but obviously she wants to pick it up as the manager of this club. Having built it over a good few years now, she wants to be the top in Europe, and obviously the signings she's made are geared towards those things, alongside trying to pick up the WSL trophy again.
And their next 2 matches in the WSL are both at home to Manchester United and Spurs. So there'll be 2 crucial games in deciding where the WSL title may end up this season. So we are entering the business stage of the season in all competitions for Chelsea. And that's perhaps why we saw the likes of Beth England and Harder on the bench, trying to save the fitness for what will be a busy few months ahead. They are surely heading for all 3 points in this one. Leopolds. Blundell. Kirby's had a good game, but controlling that one was beyond her.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the pass was meant for her, to be fair. I think there was a midfielder just beyond her, but obviously she... Why wouldn't you want to get on the ball right now? You scored 4 goals. You want to get another one, didn't you?
Was asking a lot to bring that one under control, but she has this one.
Putting pressure on her now, because I'm expecting every time she touches the ball, she's going to score a goal.
Leopolds with space. Skips away from Rowe. Blundell has England in front of her. Cuts infield to Leopold, but that's cut out by Rowe. Chelsea just first to everything at the moment. Ingle looking for Harder. Well brought forward by Cooper, but asks too much of Harding.
Yeah, it was a good step in, wasn't it, by Deanna Cooper there, reading play well, but unfortunately that final pass, you know, that pass forward is not happening for them today as a team, is it?
Not the birthday weekend that Kelly Chambers would have wanted after all. Fishlock. Rose slips. And she comes forward and releases Harder. And Harder with a chance. Well saved by Maloney.
I swear they're dangerous, isn't it, when they're pinching the ball in those middle of the park areas and they just drive forwards. Good pace here from Harder. Obviously goes past Bartrip too easily, but Grace Maloney making good decisions, stays up for a long time here and manages to get in the right place to stop that ball going in the back of the net. But good opportunity again for Chelsea.
And they come again. Eriksson. Ooh, that's a dangerous one. I think that may have come off the top of the crossbar. I think Maloney would have had it covered, though, had it dipped underneath the bar.
Yeah, she finds herself in a good bit of space there to get that delivery over. Not quite with the direction she wanted. Lots of pace and power on it, wasn't it? But not quite bending back in as she wanted there.
So another change for Kelly Chambers then. Emma Mitchell makes way. Danielle Carter comes on. But as we enter the final 10 minutes of this one, perhaps both sides will be looking to preserve what energy they have. As we mentioned, we enter the tail end of the season. This game is done and dusted from a result point of view, but as we mentioned at half-time, Jane, perhaps goal difference could be crucial this season in deciding where the WSL title ends up.
Yeah, it could well do, because we've got 3 teams up there who are doing particularly well right now. Obviously Arsenal, Chelsea, who we're seeing play particularly well today, and Manchester United, who've been the, I wouldn't say a shock team, because people were expecting them to do well. The signings they've made, the coach they have there now in Casey Stoney. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting run-in, isn't it?
G. Leopolds. Leopolds again. Rose slips. Harder makes a run to the penalty spot. Ball looking for England is just too high. And that'll be a goal kick.
Well, there's times in possession today. I think Emma Hayes would probably expect her team to be a bit more fluid in possession, because we have seen them, you know, make fantastic opportunities for players in front of goal over the last few games, you know, since the start of the season. And there's times today where they've been a little bit loose in possession, but what they've done really well today is when they've managed to transition, you know, they pinched the ball middle third areas of the pitch, and they're transitioning really well and exposing the spaces that Reading are leaving for them.
And they've done it there with G. It's exactly what you were talking about. Harder. And Blundell Works it back to Ingle. It's pretty much defence versus attack now, this one, in the final 10 minutes. James. It's a nice turn by Rowe, but she can't scamper away from Eriksson. England claims a handball, not given.
Wouldn't quite come down for her, would it? Good awareness from Fran Kirby to play it in, but the ball wouldn't quite come down for England there, for her to get a shot on goal.
Reading win another throw. They will have won just one match in their last 8 WSL fixtures after this one, Reading. As we mentioned, they've drawn a fair few in that time, but just finding victories hard to come by at the moment. Kelly Chambers' side, as Carter picks it up.
Good defending from Bloodell there, stopped the quick break, and obviously Chelsea back in possession now.
Kirby. To Harder. To G. Plenty of space on the left-hand side. That's going to be a free kick as England goes down. Cooper with the foul.
Ex-teammates here, know each other inside out, I'm guessing. Good turn, good awareness by England to realise what side the defender's on and obviously take the ball the other way, and a bit of a rash challenge there from Cooper. Could be dangerous for her.
So Eriksson and G, 2 second-half substitutes are over this one. Eriksson yet to score this season. It's G who goes for goal, and that wasn't far away. Maloney confidently watched it wide, but I'm not sure how confident she was inside.
It looked fairly close, didn't it? Interesting technique she used there. Lots of power on it. Let's see what she does. Oh, it's a little bit of a curler, but there's a lot of power on it, isn't it? But it doesn't come back round as much as she wants it to, obviously. I think you're right. The goalkeeper might have thought that was going a bit wider than it actually did.
G, the first non-English British player to make 100 appearances in the WSL. South Korean, 29 years old now. Not far away from grabbing her second goal of the season. And again, Chelsea coming forward with Harder. Blunder with a chance to cross, looking for England at the far post. It falls for G. This is a chance for G, and this is a goal for G. And Chelsea have a fifth. And the substitute gets in on the act. She wasn't far away a few moments ago, but she made no mistake at the second time of asking. Reading 0, Chelsea 5.
What a great technician she is. If you watch the detail of this, obviously it was a bit of a hopeful delivery. First contact, though, Chelsea did win, but then look, G just flicks it up with her right foot, gets the timing right, waits for the ball to bounce, times it really well to connect. Obviously she's had a little bit of a deflection from the Reading defender there, but good power, and back of the net again. 5-0.
It's her 57th goal for the club in 6 years. And Chelsea have a fifth, and they've just added one extra to their goal difference tally. Fishlock come deep looking for the ball. That's a Heavy touch from James, who gets away with it, but give him to Harder, who works it to Kirby. That's well intercepted. And now Fishlock will come forward. But again, look at that from Millie Bright, reading the game really well and stepping into space. 4 to her left-hand side. One of them is Harder. And Maloney smothers. And Jane, with 3 minutes to go, Chelsea leading 5-0. Let's ask you for your player of the match.
Well, I think everybody would be a little bit shocked if I didn't go for Fran Kirby, because 4 goals under her belt and a great first half in particular. She's been a little bit quiet the second half, but we can forgive her for those things. I think, you know, four goals in the game, and yes, an ex-Reading player coming back to haunt her old team.
Yes, that's a well-used phrase, isn't it, coming back to haunt your old club? But on this occasion, I think it's very, very valid. 4 goals for Fran Kirby, including a perfect hat-trick, of course, in the first half, scoring a left foot, a right foot and a header before the break. I did tee it up by asking you who your player of the match was, but I was pretty sure that you were going to say Kirby.
Well, I could have pulled one out of the bag from somewhere. Look, there's been good performances, especially from those players in a Chelsea shirt today. But at times, I think it's been a little bit easy for them. Defensively, Reading have been poor in some situations, which I'm sure they'll go back and look at and try and develop a little bit further. But I think, you know, the player we're talking about as an individual has done everything she's needed to do today for her team, and she's been spot on.
Danielle Carter with a long-range effort that sailed harmlessly behind for a goal kick. And with 90 seconds plus stoppage time to play, Chelsea with a 5-0 cushion have possession. And that's flicked on for G again. And here is England. It's well defended, and they want a free kick as well, Reading.
Beth England, they're not managing quite to get her feet in the right place, and good interception by Molly Bartrip in the end to stop potentially a 6th goal against them.
I suppose at 4-0 with half an hour to play, as it was, when Harder and England came on, they would have thought to themselves, here's an opportunity here to get amongst the goals, but it hasn't gone that way in the final half an hour or so.
No, it's always tough when you make so many changes in a game. You know, it's half a team that's different potentially, and could take a few minutes or maybe longer for people to gel and get used to the competition they're up against.
Eriksson. Fleming is there in support. Here's G popping up everywhere at the moment. Bright. As the 4th official tells us, there will be 4 minutes added on at the end of this match. It's Chelsea coming forward again. Fishlock heads it clear. G pulling the strings since coming on in this second half. Blundell. Bright. Harder to G. It's just a case of keep ball now for Chelsea. Bright. England makes the run. Here's Beth England. Does really well to win the ball and release Kirby. Blundell to Kirby again. Stands it up. Harder. Blazed over. They appeal for a corner, and it's been given Chelsea's way. Fleming it was who got the shot in on the end.
Tough day in the office for those guys today. They said at the off, you know, that it was going to be a tough challenge. They realised the quality that Chelsea have in their ranks, and we've seen it today at times.
Eriksson to take. Bright up from the back. That's a good opportunity for Ingle, hooking it goalwards and winning another corner.
Good contact there, and obviously defender getting in the way, which is a great thing from a Reading perspective. But Sophie Ingle having a bit of time and space to make that contact.
Well, Bright and Ingle are still up from the back. Leopold is a natural target as well, perhaps. Here it comes towards England with the header. Harder. Bright. Blundell. Leopold closed down by Bruton. Bright again for Chelsea. G. England. Carter will clear for Reading as we enter the final 40 seconds. It is a job well done, really, for Chelsea from their point of view. This, of course, the only WSL fixture taking place this weekend because of a combination of injury and illness in the other games. It was an opportunity for Chelsea to put the pressure on the teams above them, Manchester United and Arsenal, and that is exactly what they have done. This victory will move them second in the table, 3 points behind the league leaders, with a game in hand and a better goal difference. As the final whistle goes, it is the Fran Kirby show. 4 goals for the forward. A perfect hat-trick in the first half, one with her right foot, one with her left foot and a header. She followed that up with another header in the second before substitute G completed the route, making it 5-0 in the second half. Fran Kirby against her former club with a performance that she won't forget in a hurry. It is job well done for Emma Hayes and Chelsea. They have beaten Reading at the Medeski Stadium by 5 goals to 0.